Interesting strategy. Tell me, do you intend to keep going north until it becomes south and attack the Archdemon from the rear? Truly, it would surprise me if my enemy counterattacked by running away and climbing a mountain. The Archdemon is our goal, and we are heading away from it to find the charred remnants of a dead woman. You haven't thought this through. It is not an issue of trust, Kadan. I trust you with my life, but this is not my life at risk. It is our goal. I have spoken my mind. Let us waste no more time here.
What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here. No, you do not. I would have been informed if someone was expecting a visitor. We do not appreciate lowlanders looking about our home as though it was some sort of zoo. The urn is nothing but a legend. Who? Perhaps revered Father Eirik will know of whom you speak. Unfortunately, he's ministering to the villagers at the moment and cannot be disturbed.
Revered father? I've never heard of this.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition. Our ways are not the ways of the lowland cities. Ask and be on your way. Haven's always been here. My family knows no other home. We keep to ourselves. We see no need to announce our presence to the world. It's more peaceful that way. Father Eirik is our spiritual leader and guide. He's in the chantry giving a sermon. You should not disturb him. Then perhaps you should return to the lowlands. You may trade for supplies at the shop if you wish. Then I suggest you and your companions leave.
They are hiding something. 'Tis obvious, is it not?
I know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you? Next to nothing, I'm afraid. Perhaps there is little to know about this place, or I simply have not discovered its secrets yet.
Come, come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Were you up, were you down? Chasing rabbits round the town. Come, come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Come, come, Bonnie Lynn. We've a bed to put you in. It is soft, it is warm. It will shelter from the storm. Come, come, Bonnie Lynn. We've a bed to put you in. Dear, dear Bonnie Lynn. Sleeps the peaceful crib within. A mossy stone, a finger bone. No one knows but Lynn alone. Dear, dear Bonnie Lynn. Sleeps the peaceful crib within. Who are you? You shouldn't be here. In the chantry. Mother wanted me to go to the chant, but she doesn't get to tell me what to do anymore. I'm sick of listening to Father Eirik, along with the babies and the girls. Soon I'll be old enough to go up the mountain and... Nothing. It's just nicer up there. You wouldn't understand. Lowlanders don't belong here. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Haven is Haven. But I have a secret. Do you want to see? It's lucky. I keep it with me. Don't tell anyone, all right?
I was not expecting to find something so unsettling.
That is human blood. I just do. I also know that no one can lose that much blood and live.
Who are you? You're not from Haven. We don't get very many visitors. How would you describe the place you know only as home? No, I've never heard that name. I think that is for the best. What are you doing? That's private! No! No! You have no right!
We are blessed beyond measure. We are chosen by the holy and beloved to be her guardians. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her. Lift up your voices and despair not, for she will raise her faithful servants to glory when her... Ah, welcome. I heard we had a visitor wandering about the village. I trust you've enjoyed your time in Haven so far? Perhaps. But staying hidden means staying protected, and we must protect Haven and our charges at all costs. We don't owe you any explanations for our actions. We have a sacred duty. Failure to protect her would be a greater sin. All will be forgiven.
Who are you? They've sent you to finish it. You're not one of them, thank the Maker. I suppose it's not my time. Though I've begged for death several times over the past few... The leg's not doing so well, and I can't feel my foot.
The leg is wounded, but that will heal in time. The foot may have to come off.
I thought you might say that. But if the foot goes, it goes. There are more important things than an old man's feet. Thank you. That feels much better. I don't have time to rest now. I'm so close. The urn is just up that mountain. Broken ribs be cursed. I'm not abandoning decades of research. My faith gives me strength. Faith with a liberal sprinkling of curiosity. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. There is an old temple there built to protect it. The door is always locked, but I know what the key is. Eirik wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it. The medallion is like a puzzle box. I will show you if you bring it to me. Eirik has always worn it. It must be on his body. Search for it. It is the only way into the mountain. All right. What is on your mind? Cure Arl Eamon. Is the Arl sick? What happened? I certainly hope the ashes will save him. The legends speak of their miraculous powers. There are many stories of pilgrims being healed, the blind seeing, and the lame dancing in joy. Perhaps it is Andraste that does this. Perhaps it is belief itself. By believing the ashes are magical, you make them so. Anyway, that can be discussed once we actually have the ashes, and the Arl is better. Yes, of course. How could I forget? Eirik said they were ambushed, some killed, a few brought back to Haven to be questioned. He was so self-righteous about it, so smug. He seemed pleased that he had tortured and murdered these men. Good. Eirik and his fellows were a blemish in the Maker's sight. If the Maker would even deign to look upon this world, that is. Let's just talk about something else now, shall we? Well, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. Pure luck. I wasn't even looking for any village. I had always assumed that the temple that housed the urn would be lost to time and abandoned. It took years of study to narrow down its location to this range of mountains. Then, completely by accident, I came across an unrelated document that mentioned a village called Haven. It was a 100-year-old log of the Denerim Chantry's business transactions.
In it was an account of a dwarven trader who had failed to transport goods from Orzammar that had already been paid for. There was a blizzard, and his caravan was turned off the path. They eventually came across a small human village that was not on any map. The trader tried to gain entry to take shelter from the storm. Unfortunately, they were turned away and had to take refuge in a cave. When he woke up that next morning, everyone and everything was gone. He managed to find the road again and made it to Denerim, but he never saw the caravan again. Not too much. It became clear from the dwarf's story that this village would be near the temple, and it occurred to me that they might know something about the urn, and I decided to find the village myself. And that's how this trouble started. I was looking for answers. I thought the villagers would know something about the urn. I was right, they do. They're just not willing to share it with outsiders. When I mentioned the urn, Eirik assured me he would take me to the temple in the morning. He said a room had been prepared for me. I didn't realize it would be this charming place. They call themselves the Disciples of Andraste, and they are very, very devoted. One could say fanatically so. They must be here to protect the urn, but they speak of Andraste as though she was still alive. I thought so at first, but I'm not so sure anymore. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? I do not know. When the chantry was established, it was decided that only female priests would ever be ordained. It is possible that the villagers, the Disciples of Andraste, predate the chantry and so have no knowledge of the chantry's rules. They seemed intent on finding out personal information about me, where I grew up, things like that. How do you know? An imposter? What happened to the real Waylon? Oh, poor Waylon. I should never have dragged you into this. Maker take you into his hands, my boy. He believed in me, even when I lost faith in myself. I will honor his memory. Was there something else you wanted to say? As I said, you cannot make progress if you do not have the key to the temple. You do not have the medallion yet. Retrieve it, and then we will talk more. Ah, you're back. Well? Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside, and I will show you. It is not that far, and will you let me lean on you? For the urn, any pain is worth enduring. Ah, good. Help me up here. I'll try not to slow us down. Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember. Yes, you see, it can be manipulated, just like this. And there, a key to open the way. There are very few keys like this left in the world, but I have seen some. When you find the right combination, it just feels right. It is hard to explain. Now, let's see if we can open this door. There should be a place to insert this. Oh, what I would give to have seen this hall in all its splendor, as it was meant to be. Still, sweep away the ice and the snow, and traces of beauty remain. I'm sorry, what? I was a little distracted, I apologize. These carvings were created just after Andraste's death, and they may reveal things about her life that we do not yet know. I think I need more time to study these statues and carvings. I could not keep up with you with my injuries. I should be safe. I don't think there are any villagers here. Go. I will be all right. perhaps my destiny was only to lead you to the urn. It was designed to protect the urn from those who would steal it or do harm to it, namely the Tevinter Imperium. I'm not sure. The legends were never very specific on that point. Only the faithful shall lay eyes on the sacred ashes. Death and misfortune await the unbeliever. The Maker's gaze has fallen on Andraste's final resting place. He weeps for his beloved, and his wrath at her betrayers endures. That is what the legend says, and the Maker may indeed watch this place. Read between the lines, however, and you'll understand that it is merely a simple truth draped in hyperbole and metaphor. After all, no one wants to hear Willie toiled for many a year to perfect the curious mechanisms that would send a sharpened spike up the arse of the unwary intruder. I think my decision to stay here was the best one, don't you? I'll be right here if you need me. You're back. Have you reached the urn? I am glad to see you are safe. Are there many of them? I see. Well, that's reassuring. If I hear anything strange, I'll be sure to hide. Oh, did you discover something fascinating within the temple? There was a passage in one of the books I read, how some of Andraste's followers gave their lives to the fire, to become her eternal guardians. Isn't that beautiful?
Well, I think their devotion to our Andraste is beautiful. We should respect them for their sacrifice.
Stop! You will go no further! You do not have the right to demand my name. You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young. No more! You will tell me now, intruder, why you have done all this. Why have you come here? I am Father Colgrim, leader and guide to the disciples of Andraste. Kill us, and you will face Andraste. She will smell our blood, and the blood of her children on you, and her wrath will be great. She is so much more! She is even more glorious than all the old gods combined. The prophet Andraste has overcome death itself, and has returned to her faithful in a form more radiant than you can imagine. Not even the Tevinter Imperium could hope to slay her now. What hope do you have? They are still within this temple, but why do we need ashes when we serve the risen Andraste in all her glory? So you are after the ashes? Perhaps there is a way for you to make up for your desecration of our home and temple. It may be because I believe in second chances. All of us stumble through the darkness before being found and shown the light. Perhaps, through Andraste's mercy, her greatest enemy will become her greatest champion. You know nothing! Andraste revealed herself to us! We are her chosen! To arms, my brethren! Andraste will grant us victory!
The Maker be praised!
in Saheron, but the fiends here are only monsters.
I bid you welcome, Pilgrim. I am the Guardian, the protector of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I have waited years for this. It has been my duty, my life, to protect the urn and prepare the way for the faithful who come to revere Andraste. For years beyond counting have I been here, and shall I remain until my task is done and the Imperium has crumbled into the sea. There is joy to be found in my duty. No. Our Andraste has gone to the Maker's side. She will not return. The dragon is a fearsome creature, and they must have seen her as an alternative to the absent Maker and his silent Andraste. A true believer would not require audacious displays of power. It began with an ancestor of the one known as Colgrim. He saw himself as a new prophet, preaching the rebirth. Some disagreed with him. I heard their cries of pain and loss, which were quickly silenced. When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory and guard her. I have watched generations of my brethren take up the mantle of their fathers. For centuries they did this, unwavering, joyful in their appointed task. But now they have lost their way. They have forgotten Andraste and their promise. I am all that remains of the first disciples. I swore I would protect the urn as long as I lived, and I have lived a very long time. Did anyone really know her, save the Maker? She would sometimes spend weeks alone in meditation, often without food or water. I cannot express in words my love for Andraste. You must seek her out for yourself. Everyone must. I made a vow to Andraste and to the Maker. My life is tied to the ashes. As long as they remain, so will I. You already know that the urn contains the remains of the prophet Andraste. What else is there to tell? You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy. It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The Gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not, no. You will understand what it is when you face it. Before you go, there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is suffering in your past. Your suffering, and the suffering of others. By the time you reached Shiane, she was broken, brutalized. You were too late. Tell me, Pilgrim, did you fail Shiane? Your path is laid out before me and plain to see, in the lines of your face and the scars on your heart. Do you believe you failed Shiane? Then you do not dwell on past mistakes, neither yours nor someone else's.
One wonders what this Guardian's purpose is. Be wary of his traps.
What's past is past. Why bring it up and open old wounds?
Parshera, leave the past where it falls.
Is there any religion that does not thrive upon guilt, like a glutton at his lunch? No, I thought not.
You could not have known what would happen. You did what you thought was best.
And what of those that follow you? And you? Why do you say the Maker speaks to you, when all know that the Maker has left? He spoke only to Andraste. Do you believe yourself her equal?
I never said that.
In Orlais you were someone. In Lothering, you feared you would lose yourself, become a drab sister, and disappear. When your brothers and sisters of the cloister criticized you for what you professed, you were hurt, but you also reveled in it. It made you special. You enjoyed the attention, even if it was negative.
You're saying that I made it up for the attention? I did not. I know what I believe.
Demand whatever answers you want, Spirit.
You came to this land as an observer, but you killed a family in a blind rage. Have you failed your people by allowing a Qunari to be seen in that light?
I have never denied that I failed.
And you, Morrigan, Flemeth's daughter, what?
Begone, Spirit. I will not play your games.
I will respect your wishes. The way is open. Good luck, and may you find what you seek.
Echoes from a shadow realm, whispers of things yet to come. Thought's strange sister dwells in night, is swept away by dawning light. Of what do I speak? A dream came upon me as my daughter slumbered beneath my heart. It told of her life, and of her betrayal and death. I am sorrow and regret. I am a mother weeping bitter tears for a daughter she could not save.
The smallest lark could carry it, while a strong man might not. Of what do I speak? Yes, I was Andraste's dearest friend in childhood, and always we would sing. She celebrated the beauty of life, and all who heard her would be filled with joy. They say the Maker himself was moved by Andraste's song, and then she sang no more of simple things.
No man has seen it, but all men know it. Lighter than air, sharper than any sword, comes from nothing, but will fell the strongest armies. Of what do I speak? Yes, hunger was the weapon used against the wicked men of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker kindled the sun's flame, scorching the land. Their crops failed, and their armies could not march. Then he opened the heavens and bade the waters flow, and washed away their filth. I am Cathair, disciple of Andraste and commander of her armies. I saw these things done, and knew the Makers smiled on us.
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? It was my dream for the people to have a home of their own, where we would have no masters but ourselves. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we followed Andraste against the Imperium. But she was betrayed, and so were we.
A poison of the soul, passion's cruel counterpart. From love she grows, till love lies slain. Of what do I speak? Yes, jealousy drove me to betrayal. I was the greatest general of the Alamari, but beside her I was nothing. Hundreds fell before her on bended knee. They loved her, as did the Maker. I loved her too. But what man can compare with a god?
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The debt of blood must be paid in full. Of what do I speak? Yes, my husband Hysarion would have chosen a quick death for Andraste. I made him swear that she would die publicly with her war leaders, that all would know the Imperium's strength. I am justice. I am vengeance. Blood can only be repaid in blood.
She wields the broken sword, and separates true kings from tyrants. Of what do I speak? Yes, I could not bear the sight of Andraste's suffering, and mercy bade me end her life. I am the penitent sinner, who shows compassion as he hopes compassion will be shown to him.
The bones of the world stretch towards the sky's embrace, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom. Of what do I speak? Yes. I carried Andraste's ashes out of Tevinter into the mountains to the east, where she could gaze ever into her Maker's sky. No more fitting a tomb than this could we find.
Hey. Who else? It's good to see you, I suppose. Life out there's been good to you, hasn't it? You're respected even among humans. Do you remember us? Where you came from? And what some of us still face every day? Really? Thank you, but that will take time. More time than you can spare. You don't even feel much anymore when you remember it, do you? You've moved on, past the horror of that night. I envy you. You've gone on to other things, things I can only dream of. You have a great task to complete. I want you to take this. I think you should have it. Seeing you now gives me hope. For all of us.
Armed and armored, you have tried to approach Andraste. Why have you committed this act of defiance? In the Maker's eyes, a beggar may as well be a king, or a king a beggar. He cares not for the privilege granted by birth. One can only find spiritual truth by casting aside earthly possessions and seeing them for the deceptions they are. You have shown that you are not worthy of the ashes. May the Maker take you into his arms and forgive you.
I never dreamed I would ever lay my eyes on the urn of sacred ashes. I have no words to express.
I stand in awe. Really?
Congratulations, you found a waste bin.
You've seen and touched Andraste's ashes. They are the holiest thing on this earth, the remains of the Maker's chosen. Maybe it is belief and faith that imbues them with their power, or just maybe Andraste really was blessed by him. I do not know if I am worthy to look upon her. I suppose you could look at it that way, but she still deserves our respect. But there is little time to debate this. Let us move on.
Welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? Oh, there's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Oh, Maker, I'm not worthy to look upon. What was it like, coming to the urn, I mean? Tests? Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn. But the urn belongs to all the faithful. How can you deny this to them? No, we must share it.
I agree. We cannot withhold this from others. It is not our place.
Deny them a corpse? Unthinkable indeed.
Yes, share it. Spread the word, and more will come under the Chantry's power. Is this not what you want?
I will spread this good news or die trying. I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me. I am not a rich man, but I have a small collection of interesting artifacts, and I do owe you a reward for coming to my rescue. I hope to see you soon, my friend.
She's a lucky girl, Morrigan. That is not what I meant. She caught your eye. Though looking at her, it is not difficult to see why. Well, I want you to know I am happy for you.
What is your wish, Kadan? Speak, then. Ours wear the faces of men. Darkspawn, abominations, plagues, and storms. Men are far more dangerous than these. One moment of betrayal can bring more ruin than an earthquake. You know this. They are Tal Vashoth. They say they are Grey Ones. True in the knowledge of themselves. They are gaping holes where men used to be. Nothing can fill them. It is true. There was a village in the mountains of Seheron. Farmers. They grew cinnamon and nutmeg trees in perfectly ordered rows. There would always be one person waiting, a foreman, a harvester, rank didn't matter. Often they would say nothing. Simply watch as we worked to examine the empty house, a new one each time, that had once been the home of a colleague, a friend. We always made a point of searching. Now and then a body would turn up in a river eaten by rain and crows. More often we found nothing. Even in the worst parts of the jungle, the villagers would send someone with us to see the tiniest piece of bone or cloth. Anything contained the possibility of their lost friend. Must we speak of this? We could be fighting something. Very well. Isn't it the nature of a wound to bleed? I have no more answers than you. Why do we fight the Darkspawn? Why do the Darkspawn fight us? Why? Do the reasons matter? It makes little difference to those they fight. Tell me then, why do you fight? Yes, there is no other reason. The Tal Vashoth wish us dead, and we wish to go on living. The point of our war is war. Very well. Undoubtedly, they've used it to kill countless people. Death is certainly a change. There are times when words fail. As you wish.
It has occurred to me that I have been... Excuse me. This is not easy. It occurs to me that I have been less than charitable with it since it reanimated me. I have come to realize that it has been good to me. You have been good to me, even though you had no control rod to enforce obedience. I have never had one before, so I don't know how to thank you for being, you know. That too. I followed you expecting to find answers to my questions, but I think I have found something better. Oh, let us not speak of this awkward bonding moment ever again.
There you are. I was thinking, we've been through a lot together now. We're like old war buddies. So I figured why not invite you to share a drink, huh? A drink from my own stash, my family's recipe, and dedicated to my comrades in arms. Yes! The Warden steps up! You handled that like a champion, my friend. Most impressive. How do you feel? That's the spirit! I just wanted to tell you, after all we've been through, you're like family to me. Closest thing I've had in years. Ogren's dough is always baked through, if you know what I mean. So, do you want to talk about something? Hey, Warden, you gotta hear this one. This human walks into a tavern, and there's an elf there, and she says... she says... She says, I don't... Ass chabs.
You're awake. Did you feel it too? It was like the archdemon saw us. Saw us! What does that mean? I think... Wait. Did you hear that? I guess it's like Duncan once said.
We can sense them, and they can sense us. We'd best be more careful from now on. This camp isn't safe any longer.
What will they send next? Darkspawn tax collectors?
Something on your mind? Yes, me too. And I got the feeling at the end there that it saw us, was aware of us, whatever you want to call it. Could have just been my imagination, I suppose. What do you think? You know how some people want to be right all the time? Me, not so much. I guess one thing is certain at least, isn't it? It's official. This is a blight.